Last time out for the R&G British Talent Cup was at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. This time we are at Thruxton for two races this weekend for the youngsters. It was Filip Sorowiak who started from pole position in that second race after victory was taken in race one by the number 24 of Ryan Frost, who took the whole shot down into turn one. Sorowiak finished P13 in race one after starting from pit lane, but was looking very racy once race two got underway. There was battles all the way through the field, and especially out the front. There was this crash early on for George Bowes as he got tangled up with Charlie Barnes, was in that skirmish as well. Back at the front though, it was Correa, Frost, Sorowiak, Brinton and Brown. It was Sorowiak that took the victory. Race one, it was Filip Sorowiak who started from pit lane to take 13th position, but in race two, he took victory. It was 25 points for the number 75 as he turned his weekend around. And we've got a treat on our hands here this weekend for the R&G British Talent Cup. A new rider in the field just for this weekend, Marco Morelli, who's looking very, very quick in practice. This is your last race winner from race two back at Silverstone, Filip Sorowiak, starting from 6th place on the grid. He'll line up alongside Julian Correa, who's had such a roller coaster of a season. Lucas Brown, your championship leader, will start from row two, so keep an eye out for him. He's been a little bit down on pace so far this weekend compared to his rival, Emmanuel Brinton. Brinton will be on pole position, but alongside him in second place, Marco Morelli, who topped the timings in both sessions yesterday and is looking very, very strong. Myself, Tristan Finocchiaro, will be bringing you all the action for this one. Alongside me is Eddie O'Shea. Eddie, excited for this one? A pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, it's amazing to be here at Thruxton, commentating the race that I used to be in. Looking back, I didn't really take it all in, but I do miss these bikes.
Such an incredible championship where we see loads of talent go on to do great things, yourself included. Like we say, the big story this weekend, the number 95, Marco Morelli, didn't set many laps in qualifying, but still managed to put it onto that front row. He's standing in for, well, he's riding Ollie Walker's bike this weekend. What is he going to be able to do about the likes of Lucas Brown, Emmanuel Brinton, and your usual heavy hitters in this championship? There we go, there's the championship then. Lucas Brown, 25 points ahead of Emmanuel Brinton. Brinton it is that starts from pole position, so he's going to be looking to try and claw in that gap as much as he can. That battle for third place, hotting up very nicely as well between Ryan Frost and Julian Correa. Frost and Brinton both have 3 wins to their name this year. Brown only 2 so far. Brinton, it'll be line up on pole position then ahead of the Argentinian Morelli and Ryan Frost. Down on row 2, you've got your championship leader Lucas Brown ahead of Julian Correa and Filip Sorowiak. Row 3, we've got Kyle Payne, Harrison McKay and Ronnie Harris. Down on row 4 is the number 71 of Dan Goodman ahead of the youngster Clayton Edmonds and Joshua Raymond Jr. Row 5, we've got the rookie Mason Foster ahead of Bill Harris and Eli Banish. Ben Jolliffe, George Bowes, Alexander Rowan make out row 6 with Jack Burrows, Josh Bannister and Peter Willis on row 7. And down on row 8 we had Scott McPhee, who has had a very good race last time out at Silverstone ahead of Isaiah Devine, Ewan Jones and Greg Marshall rounding out the 25 rider grid here at Thruxton. Brinton then it'll be on pole position. All eyes are on the newcomer into this category though, Morelli. You've raced with Morelli yourself, Eddie, and he's proven to be a very quick rider over in Red Bull Rookies and European Talent Cup.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with Marco the past 2 years in Red Bull Rookies Cup, and he's also my teammate in MLAV racing in the Junior GP Championship. He races in the European Talent Cup and I race in Junior GP, but we're very close, and yeah, he's absolutely rapid. He's one to look out for.
Let's see what he can do in this race then. The lights go on for the first race of the weekend for the R&G British Talent Cup here at Thruxton, and we're away into turn 1. It's Ryan Frost who takes the whole shot once again, so quick off the line, as we've seen time and time again on that number 24. Lucas Brown trying to get his elbows out as your pole man Emmanuel Brinton has shot down into P4. Brown up the inside of Brinton and Correa. Is he able to make it stick on the both of them? He is round the outside of Correa, through the left, down through the right. Once again, through here nice and cleanly. Morelli up into second. What can we expect to see from Morelli then, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, Marco is a real true talent. Not to say that these boys aren't, but I've raced with Marco and he's definitely he's one of a kind. And to say that Ryan is ahead of him right now is massive for Ryan, because, you know, Morelli really is he is a good talent. But yeah, I think I've got my money on him for the race win, definitely.
Let's see how this one pans out then. He's in a very good position. He's all over the rear wheel of Ryan Frost now as we go down into the club chicane for the first time in this race. There's going to be plenty of moves here throughout the majority of this race. It's always a tight affair at Thruxton. Slipstream always plays a big part. Brown up the inside of Brinton. Brinton holds strong though. And Morelli now it is who's hit the front, and he's already pulling away here.
Yeah, I mean, Marco, you could see there, he was by far the last one on the brake since the chicane, and he's already pulled a 3/10 gap. So I think yeah, is all on go from here.
And the difference, obviously, this is a very, very high level of racing, as Julian Correa just runs it a little bit wide through there, and now he's got them all queuing up behind him, trying to do everything to latch on to Morelli out the front. Like I say, it's such a high level of racing here in the British Talent Cup. It's a great place for them to start out and use it as the first stepping stone for their careers. But the level over in Europe, the level over at the European Talent Cup, I mean, you've experienced it yourself. It's almost a different world.
Yeah, the level in Europe is so high, as you can see here from Marco. The gap he's pulled just within not even half a lap. It's unreal out there. The way you ride is so different, and especially the way you train. But yeah, Marco's doing an amazing job now.
1.4 seconds out the front, and we haven't even finished the second lap. This lad is something special, but this is left this battle between our usual British Talent Cup heavy hitters for second place. It's Brinton who currently leads that one after snatching it from Julian Correa at the club chicane. We're going to keep an eye on this battle as this race pans out. Brown having a little look up the inside at turn one.
I believe Marco Morelli has just set lap record as well on his first flying lap, which is incredible. I'm not too sure, but I think someone told me before that the all-time lap records are 21.9, and he's just gone and smashed it on his first lap, so I can't wait to see what he can do this lap.
It's indeed 2/10 under then for Morelli. Absolutely flying out the front on the MLAV machine. It's been these two all season, Brown and Brinton. No love lost between the pair of those two. Just look how tidy he is out the front. And it's so fast round here as well, Eddie. It's pretty much flat out the whole way around.
Yeah, I've never raced here personally. The years I did in British Talent Cup was the first one was with Dorna when all the bikes were the same, and we did tracks like Brno, and we did a few rounds of MotoGP, but we never came here or Alton or Knockhill, Cadwell, none of them. And then in my second year, where we were meant to come here, it was obviously COVID, so we didn't end up coming here. But yeah, it definitely looks like a one-of-a-kind track. Very little places to brake and slow down, so it seems like real good fun.
And having ridden it on a 300cc machine, I can tell you that was pretty much the throttle on the stopper all the way around until pretty much the final chicane's the only time you touch the brakes. Down into turn one then, Ryan Frost making moves on your current British Talent Cup leader, Lucas Brown. Keep an eye out for Filip Saraviak, who was looking so strong last time out at Silverstone. Really unfortunate race one after having to start from pit lane. Managed to pick up P13, but he started from 6th position in this one, so what can he do from there? Morelli now 2.4 seconds out the front. He's properly checked out. 21.9 on that last lap, 21.7 the lap before. So he's consistently a lot quicker than these guys. And these guys running at such a pace. Their lap times not even too dissimilar to the BMW F900R Cup that we saw earlier on. They were doing 22s in their races. Morelli's in the 21s with a lot less power underneath him.
It goes without saying, these British boys battling for second now are unreal. You know, the pace between these British lads is so good. I remember when I was in British Talent Cup, these guys are smoking my lap times from when I was in it. And Marco really showing dominance here, shows the caliber of him, and I think Marco definitely will go far in his career.
He's doing great things over in Europe and now doing great things here at Thruxton, just here for this one weekend. And he's showing them how it's done here around Thruxton. Soroviak hits the front of this group then. And Lucas Brown, is that going to be 3 for 1? It is from the number 29, an incredible move. We know he's not shy of getting his elbows out. Is Correa going to bounce straight back though? It's fast through here. On the stopper all the way around pretty much until that final chicane. Flat out on one of these bikes. And Soroviak looks as if he's just starting to pull away from these guys a little bit now, perhaps a few moves between Correa and Brown, and that's just allowing Soroviak to just pull away here, so they've got to be careful. Oh, and that's Josh Bannister that's gone down and out, as well as the number 11, Ewan Jones. So really unfortunate for those two. Now down into the club chicane. Soroviak from Correa, Brinton, Brown and Frost. We've seen time and time again, Brown likes to lead from the front, and that, look at that. How many was that in one corner?
I have no idea, but that was unreal from Lucas. He's definitely, he gets his elbows out a lot more than I can remember, as we see a replay here.
Pretty much from the back of the group to almost the front of it.
Yeah, it's unreal, and this was at the beginning of the lap, and then in the club chicane he went and did the same thing, which is nuts.
Crazy stuff at the front. Morelli's now 4.7 seconds clear, so he's checked out. I think your prediction was a safe one there, Eddie.
Yeah, to be fair, if I'm honest, I didn't expect him to clear off this much because, as you know, Thruxton is a track where slipstream is massive. To pull away from these boys when they've got slipstream is so impressive.
Absolutely ridiculous, and we have seen a lot in these races this year that it has actually been the bigger riders at the front. It's been the riders such as Lucas Brown, Emmanuel Brinton, even Julian Correa's not the smallest on one of those bikes, but they're the riders that are able to do the business at the front, which is really impressive considering how much height can hinder you in a straight line on one of these bikes.
Yeah, definitely. These bikes are typically only fit for people that, 5'6", 5'7", and weigh just over 60 kilo in all their suit and leathers. And I think, I'm not sure the weight or height of Lucas and Emmanuel, but they definitely seem bigger than I was in my days of British Talent Cup, and they've gone out there and smashed it.
Always great to see. Lap 7 of 14 here at Thruxton for the British Talent Cup. It's game on for this battle for second place. Look at this out on circuit then, 3 abreast as they go down into the first heavy braking zone of this lap. It's Soroviak that leads this battle for second place ahead of Julian Correa and Lucas Brown. Manuel Brinton, it just kind of feels like Brinton's just keeping his cards close to his chest. He always pulls out something towards the end of the race, and when you're in a battle like this, Eddie, and everyone's sort of throwing everything at it every corner, I guess it can get very easy to sort of get sucked into that mentality, but I mean, you really just want to be in the right place on that last lap.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about the last lap, as you say. These guys now are just battling for, to show each other who has the fastest pace. But when Marco's this fast, it's impossible to stay with him. And yeah, I think they are literally just deciding who will be the fastest on the last lap.
Battle of mind games here in the R&G British Talent Cup. Just over half race distance here at Thruxton then for the R&G British Talent Cup. It's Marco Morelli who's come in for a wildcard appearance this weekend, who's cleared off by almost 6.5 seconds out the front. He's got the lap record, he's got the fastest lap of the race, and this has left your usual heavy hitters in the R&G British Talent Cup to battle it out for the scraps. 20 points for second position. In that group, we've got Brown, Soroviak, Correa, Brinton and Ryan Frost. Brown now up the inside of Soroviak. They're going to keep swapping and changing positions as these laps tick away. Brown able to carry such incredible corner speed. in this group now, if you were Brinton, would you just sort of be sat there waiting to see how it unfolds ahead of you, or would you just be getting completely stuck in?
I mean, if I'm honest, I've always enjoyed not leading the group and keeping my cards close to my chest. But in the recent races, if I've had the pace to lead the group, then I've enjoyed it. Obviously, still not shown a lot, and as we see Brinton take the lead of the group now, if I'm honest, I'm not sure what his game plan would be. But for me, it'd just be to suss out Lucas, because for him, genuinely, all he really needs to do is make sure that he claws points in on Lucas, and if it ended here, it would be doing so. But Lucas taking a nice little line there through on Emmanuel, which is very nice.
Great stuff from your cup leader. 3 abreast into turn 1 once again. Brown hits the front, demotes Soroviak to second place. And like we say, this will just keep swapping and changing the more and more we get through this race. Lucas Brown, 16 years old, from Haywards Heath in West Sussex. His 4th year in this category this year. You're looking to move on next season. And if you were Lucas, Eddie, where would you be looking to go? Because obviously he's quite a bit taller than a lot of the riders. Perhaps a 600 would be a good shout for him, obviously, if he wins the cup. Oh, that's a big moment for him there. He just about manages to stay on it, but that could have been curtains there for Lucas Brown, just as we were singing his praises. Let's say he does win the championship, or say even if he finishes second, moving on next year. Oh, look at that. How has he managed that?
Yeah, that would have definitely been a big one for Lucas. If he didn't manage to stay on that would have definitely hurt him.
At least, 100-mile-an-hour corner through there?
Yeah, probably. Marco had a crash through the corner after this morning in qualifying, and he went down at 111, which is insane.
Ridiculous. These guys out the front. Brown battling away with Correa. I've seen those two get their elbows out. Plenty of time so far this season. Lap 10 of 14 then. These guys are just about to start, with Morelli almost 10 seconds up the road. Consistently about a second a lap quicker than the rest of them. Yeah, we were just saying, Eddie, where would you move next if you were Lucas Brown? Because he'd do well on a Moto 3, but like a full-spec Moto 3. I think he's probably a little bit too big for European Talent Cup.
Yeah, definitely. The European Talent Cup, you know, there's a lot of small riders out there which are all very, very fast on their respectable bikes. Yeah, I think Lucas could do well on a Moto 3. If you look at the likes of Ivan Ortola and Colin Vire, they've been smashing it in Moto 3, and they're very tall themselves. So, if I'm honest, I think he would be fine on a Moto 3. And Evan Belford, my teammate in Junior GP, in Junior GP, he's pretty tall, and you know he's smashing it in Junior GP as well, with a few top 10s this year. So yeah, I think Lucas could do well on a Moto 3, but if he doesn't come on a Moto 3, then yeah, he'd definitely suit a 600 very well.
Here's the battle for the top 9 then. We've got Scott McPhee in there, who did very, very well last time out at Silverstone and was knocking on the door of a top 5 finish. Oh, and that's Brinton. That's your 2 championship rivals who have gone off at the club chicane, and they're looking round, and Brinton's down. That's going to be 0 points for Emmanuel Brinton. After so close to the championship to Lucas Brown. Brown had issues as well, though. We'll have to see where he's rejoined the race and if he's managed. Let's see what's happened here then. Oh, Brinton just ploughs straight into him. Pushes him wide. Brown has a look behind, but unfortunately it was Brinton that was the big loser there. So easy to get caught up on the brakes at that final chicane. Really unfortunate there.
Yeah, I think it's just slightly too desperate there from Manny. You know, he wants to beat Lucas at all costs. You know, Lucas is the championship leader. He's the one to beat right now. So if I'm honest, I respect the effort, but it was maybe just slightly too desperate for something that wasn't even the last lap.
Unfortunately, he's been a victim of his own incident there, and this leaves these two then, Ryan Frost and Filip Soroviak, to battle out for P2. How far back is Lucas Brown now? He's quite a way behind these guys, and that's created a bit of a gap back to Julian Correa as well. So Correa's going to have to get the hammer down. So is Brown. Don't know if Brown will know that Brinton is out of this race. Perhaps when he comes through the club chicane this time around, he might see him at the side of the circuit. Change of position there between Soroviak and Frost.
I think Swawiak is doing an incredible job out here, you know, taking the confidence from Silverstone. I spent a lot of winter training with him. He's been doing very well on the 600 out in Spain, and I was out there with him. As we see a crash. Is that George Bowes?
It is.
It is.
It is. So that was in that battle for 9th and 10th. So it's George Bowes that's down and out. Roller coaster season for him as well. After the Microlise Cresswell team had pulled out earlier this season. You can see Manny at the side of the circuit as well. That helmet staying on. So let's see what's happened here for George Bowes. Oh, so easy. Just a little bit too much front brake.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like his glove fell off too, which is very fortunate that he didn't come away injured. And, you know, the grass is a lot softer than the tarmac.
Yeah, he did a really good job there to keep his hand up by his chest. This is Ronnie Harris and Harrison McKay scrapping it out for 6th and 7th. Harris currently with the better. Currently having the better of Harrison McKay. McKay's been a rider who's really been coming on strong recently. Was very strong back at Brands Hatch and was looking really good at Silverstone last weekend for the British Grand Prix as well. These guys had 2 races over there. Correa now has entered the chat. He's right on the back of these guys.
Yeah, I don't know how he caught up that well, but he set his personal best lap of the race, 22.7, which was faster than Marco on the last lap, which is very impressive from Julian.
Well, if there's any time to do it, it's now for Correa. He could be looking at a podium, but this lad out the front has been absolutely untouchable. We've hardly seen anything of him. That MLAV team, apart from Ryan Frost, really have been struggling to get the results in this year, but Morelli proving that it can be done.
Yeah, I was speaking to the boys at the start of this weekend, and I tried to inform them that Marco really is different gravy. I think he'll come here and he'll manage to pull away. And the boys were saying, you know, it's a slipstream track. They think they might be able to stay with him. And I was convinced that Marco would be able to do this. But it is true. This is a slipstream track, so they could literally just be able to follow him. But Marco is just simply too good on the brakes into the 2 chicanes.
Very difficult track to pull away, but he's managed it, and it just shows the class of Morelli out the front. These guys then, Soroviak is looking racy today. Is he going to be able to take 20 points? Which way is this going to go? I think Brown is almost definitely out of it. You can't even see him in the picture. So it's between Soroviak, Frost and Julian Correa for this last lap. Scrap for 2nd place. Morelli almost 11.5 seconds out the front. Great to see that Fibertech Honda team doing so well. Of course, a team that you've just signed for as well, Eddie.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure to sign for MLAV's GP team out in the World Championship in Moto3, and yeah, I'm so happy to have this opportunity, and yeah, it should be good starting from Indonesia onwards this year, heading into next year, and yeah, I think it'll be a real good opportunity to show what I can do. As Ryan seems like he doesn't want to lead onto this straight. Yeah, very clever from Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan wants to make sure he's not going to get absolutely dive-bombed at that club chicane. It's great to see that these guys can see where their careers can lead them all the way to the Moto3 World Championship and hopefully further. But this lad here, Marco Morelli, takes 25 points. Wildcard appearance for Morelli, and he takes victory in race 1. But which way is it going to go between these 3? Is it going to be Ryan Frost that takes 2nd place? It looks as if it's going to be, and it looks as if Correa is going to snatch that final spot on the podium away from Soroviak. He has. So a mistake from Soroviak through that final chicane cost him the podium. It was Frost in 2nd, Correa in 3rd. Brown comes home in 5th and will extend his championship lead with Brinton down and out ahead of Ronnie Harris and Harrison McKay. And look at this scrap here. It's Mason Foster that's going to take 8th place unless Raymond Jr. can get him on the line. He doesn't. It is Foster that takes 8th ahead of Raymond Jr. Scott McPhee rounding out the top 10 ahead of Clayton Edmonds and Kyle Payne. Payne coming in to do all of the rounds that don't clash with the European Talent Cup. Made his first appearance back at Snetterton. But Marco Morelli, take your hat off to him. Almost feel bad for him in that one. We didn't really see much of him.
Yeah, Marco is you know, he's unreal. He's such a nice kid, and I'm very happy for him.
As ever in the R&G British Talent Cup, it was barnstorming action right to the finish. Big drama in terms of the championship story, with Emmanuel Brinton going down and out after that incident at the club chicane. His championship rival, Lucas Brown, finished in P5, so he'll be extending his championship lead, and we'll have a little look at those championship standings a little bit later on. Ryan Frost very much coming to life in this championship now as well. 3 wins to his name, that's joint with Emmanuel Brinton, who both have taken 3 wins this season. Brown, your current cup leader, has only taken 2, but he's been so consistent, finished in every race. And that actually, in 5th place, is his worst result of the season. So incredible to see the consistency from Lucas.
Yeah, very impressive from Lucas Brown, as he extends his championship lead there, I believe, as Emmanuel went down. So yeah, very impressive. Pretty clever race from Lucas, and especially from Ryan on the last lap when he, you know, waited for Philip to get in slipstream, and yeah, very clever from everyone. And Marco managed to pull away early, so yeah, it was a good race.
As ever, barnstorming action in the R&G British Talent Cup. Well, it's been a pleasure to bring you this one. Race 1 at Thruxton for the R&G British Talent Cup. Is anyone going to be able to stop this man tomorrow? Marco Morelli, it was 11.7 seconds in the end that he managed to take victory over Ryan Frost. Incredible result for the number 95. And there it is confirmed, 11.7 seconds ahead of Ryan Frost, who took 2nd place, just 0.3 ahead of Julian Correa, with Philip Sroviak and Lucas Brown rounding out that top 5. Brown extending his championship lead over Brinton, who went down and out. Harris, McKay, Foster, Raymond Jr. and McPhee rounded out the top 10, with Edmonds and Kyle Payne rounding out your top 12. Dag Goodman, Bill Harris and Ben Jolliffe rounded out your top 15, with Isaiah Devine down in 20th after swapping from the Microlise Cresswell team to Mortimer Racing. After the drama in that race, then this is what it's done to the championship. Brown extends his championship lead to 36 points. It was 25 going into this weekend, so Brinton is going to have to get a move on, because Ryan Frost is right up behind him now as well. Like I say, both of them equal on 3 wins each. So Frost could very well play a part in this championship story as well. It's wide open here in the British Talent Cup. Scott McPhee rounds out the top 13. He's had a good couple of races in the past few races here in the British Talent Cup. Peter Willis in 14th. Jack Burrows rounds out the top 15 in the championship, with Huntingford rounding out the top 20.
Marco Morelli, what a performance. 11 seconds you smoked the British Talent Cup by. Never been here before, obviously, to Thruxton. Obviously, we know you're leading the European Talent Cup, but joined MLAV Racing for the British Talent Cup race this weekend, and what a fantastic performance.
Yeah, it was very good, no? For sure, I enjoyed the race. First time here in Thruxton, first time here in England, no? But yeah, very happy, no? I enjoy a lot the track. Thruxton, I think, is very fast track, no? A little bit bumpy. This morning I had a crash, so turn 8 I go a little bit more chilling, but yeah, good, no? I try on the race to push from the first lap. I can do it, so yeah, I open a gap, and yeah, I win. I'm very happy. Was proper mega race, so let's see tomorrow if I can do more or less the same or try to win.
Well, I'm sure going by today's performance, it's not going to be that difficult for you, but an incredible performance for your first time here. Well done.
Yeah, thank you a lot.
Now, if you were the rest of the field, Eddie, what would you be doing overnight to try and figure out how you can stop Morelli tomorrow?
I mean, if I'm honest, I don't even think I could stop Morelli tomorrow. His pace on these little NSFs is unreal. In Barcelona and ETC, he managed to win by many seconds, and that's in the European stage. So, if I'm honest, the plan for tomorrow would be, you know, if I could suggest anything to the lads, was to you know, go out there and try and follow him as much as you can, push until he gets away.
Well, he's been absolutely untouchable today. Good to see Correa on the podium, and Ryan Frost racking up points as well, and knocking on the door of getting into that championship fight. But is anyone going to be able to stop this man tomorrow? Marco Morelli, wildcard rider this weekend in the R&G British Talent Cup. And he just shows what can be done on one of these machines. Of course, racing over in the European Talent Cup, which is such a high level. But very impressive to come to a track like Thruxton that'll be completely different to any circuit he's ridden out in Europe, and do what he's done.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a strange track to come from. You know, he just won a race in Assen, and yeah, he's incredible.
Race 1 at Thruxton for the R&G British Talent Cup was a tight affair for second place. It was Ryan Frost who took the whole shot down into turn 1, but it wasn't long before the number 95 wildcard rider this weekend, the Argentinian Marco Morelli, hit the front and just cleared off. This left this battle for second place with the likes of Philip Sraviak. Lucas Brown was getting his elbows out, as well as Julian Correa, Manuel Brinton and Ryan Frost as well. There was this moment then that saw championship contender Emmanuel Brinton go down and out as he collided with his title rival Lucas Brown. Brown lost a lot of time, but Brinton, unfortunately, his race ended in the grass. And there was also a crash a lap later for the number 67 of George Bowes at the same corner. Morelli came home, cruised home to take victory ahead of his teammate Ryan Frost, who took second, with Julian Correa rounding out the podium.